Today, we're going to learn how to put a villain in our video game. We're going to begin thinking about our video game. We're going to put in a villain that's going to sweep the grid. Sweep the grid is when a character's job is to move around the screen in some fashion in a so that it gets in the way. And you have to be careful how you put these villains in there, but let's take a look at some of these villains. Here's Pac-Man. We have the ghosts, and the ghosts are designed to move around those dots and get in the way. Right now, Pac-Man has blue ghosts, which means he can eat them, but once they turn into colors, they can actually kill Pac-Man if he runs into them. So he tries to avoid them. That's an obstacle. We have Frogger, and with Frogger, um, we have logs and turtles and cars. Some of these are good things, some of these are obstacles. The cars are obstacles. The frog has to hop through the cars so that he doesn't get hit by them. If they hit him, he ends the game, he loses. And so those are the types of obstacles we're going to be looking at. And then here's one called Space Invaders. And aliens sweep the grid. They kind of just march back and forth and they'll go down a level and they'll keep coming down a level until they get to the guy at the bottom. There's also some obstacles here that keeps the tank at the bottom from being able to shoot um, the uh, the aliens. And so sweep the grid is when a villain or an evil character in the game kind of moves in a particular fashion. So what we want to do is we're going to open a new Scratch program today and we're going to choose a villain. This is the villain I'm choosing. Her name is Tack. Yes, she's one of those happy evil villains. And so Tack, I need to decide how I want her to move around. Now here's the problem. I'm eventually going to have buttons in this game that's going to tell my character how to move up, down, left, and right. I got to make sure Tack doesn't run into those buttons. I'm also going to have a target in this game that's going to help me win the game. If Tack runs into my target, I will lose the game. So Tack can only move in a particular place on the field to kind of get in my way, but not cause me to lose the game by hitting something else I've put in the game. So I have to decide, how do I want Tack to move? She can just kind of stay down in this space and I can make her move in different ways. Or I can make Tack move consistently, like across the grid, just from diagonal to diagonal kind of thing. And so she stays in one pattern, kind of like those cars on Frogger. So I have to decide what's best for her. And so I'm going to move Tack. I'm going to have her start at this space here. So I'm going to put my green flag. You always want your villains to start on the green flag. Pull out my green flag. And I'm just going to have Tack move um, consistently left and right and kind of get in the way. Okay. I'm going to move her up just a little bit in case I need to have room for my buttons down at the bottom. So I'm going to try 4. Can always move her later if it doesn't quite work out. And I want Tack to move from 4 all the way across to, I'm sorry, from 1 all the way across to 20. So 20 minus 1, that's 19. So I'm going to change that to 19. But then I just want her to go back again. And so she's going to go 19 back. So if I do that, Tack goes across the screen to the right, then comes back across the screen to the left, and she stops. Well, I don't want her to stop. I want her to do it over and over, actually for the whole game. So I'm going to put this repeat forever loop on there. And I also feel like she's moving kind of slow. So I'm going to add a speed things up. Let's go a little faster. Okay, let's try it now. So now Tack moves very quickly from left to right. So kind of like the cars on Frogger, she just kind of gets in the way there. Now I'm going to add another option. Let me go back here. I'm going to copy Tack down to my second screen so I don't have to redo all that. I'm not going to have her move in the same way though. This time I'm going to start Tack over here and I'm just going to have her kind of stay in this corner and just kind of be the evil in this corner and not move out. So kind of like those ghosts on Pac-Man where they have to stay in their path. I can have her go over 5, then maybe spin around, and I want her to do a half a spin. So I'm just going to do 6 out of 12. And then I'm going to have her go down 3. Now I went to the right 5, so I need to go back to the left 5. But I'm going to have her, yeah, she already went down 3. So I'm going to go back to the left 5. So she'll go back to where she started. But now she has to go back up 3. Otherwise, she's going to end up in a different place. So basically, I'm making a rectangle for her. Let's add another spin though. So she goes over, she spins, and she goes down, she goes over. Let's have her spin before she goes up. And then she'll be upside right. So let's see how this goes. Oh, I like it when things go fast, so I'm going to add my go fast in there before I try it. All right, let's see how she goes. So this tack is just going to stay over here in the corner and cause trouble. Now, I could use this repeat. The problem with this repeat is she only does this for a certain number of times, and it doesn't go on forever. And so at some point she'll stop being a problem in my game and it'll be easy to get around her. So that's why I don't like using that repeat when I'm creating a game. I prefer the forever. And so now my tack will just bother this corner forever. And I can actually have her, she's not really going that far. So what if I have her go over 10 and then back up 10? And let's reset her and see how that goes. So now she has a bigger area that she kind of gets in the way of. And I can, if I program it correctly, I can even add some other things in there, like I can have her jump. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't reset her correctly. Let me reset her first. All right, and so now she's kind of jumping in this corner. So I can have tack move in any way I want. I can go in one direction, or I can have her move around in different directions. You should always make sure you reset her to start where she needs to, though. Otherwise, your whole game will be off. So make sure you hit that reset button. So that's how you kind of get a villain going in your grid. What you're going to do is you follow the directions for thinking about how to get that villain into your game. And I've given you a few slides here to help you think about it. Okay, and then if you get one villain done, you can program a second villain to sweep a different area of your grid. You can add a background, or you can create some objects that you put in there, so when your villain touches the objects, they disappear. So have a little fun with it.